So hi, I don't know how to do this. I know that it's something that I feel like I need to do. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the updates about my health, and I thought I would make this video to explain basically everything that's been going on with it recently, because I know I've been quite quiet about it on Instagram. Yeah, so I thought I would make a little video to explain what happened, because I know some of my videos went quite viral, and like my posts that I've taken down now. But yeah, I also thought I would have some tea. This is so cute because I have some tea to spill. I love puns. So you all know that 2 years ago I started to get unwell. It was not called on time, but with the seizures and the paralysis and everything and the 100+ symptoms, I had a few doctors who suspected that this could be a form of encephalitis, right? So I eventually went to see an encephalitis doctor. I had my first seizure about 2 years ago in October, and then I was paralyzed for the first time 2 years ago in November, so probably like a year and a half ago. And I stayed there for a week in London, one of the hospitals, and I was first treated as a mental health person. Unfortunately, a lot of the people who have suffered like me are first treated like a unwell mentally health person, which is really unfortunate because the symptoms that I was displaying was very serious, and I didn't get to see a neurologist, and for my case, until a year after these attacks started to happen, which is very bad and probably what has caused long-lasting issues that I'm having now. At the time that I was seen by a neurologist, my neurological symptoms started to improve. However, my cardiac symptoms started to worsen. So I really needed a cardiologist then to see what was happening instead of just a neurologist. So I had the luxury, thanks to you guys, to go and see a cardiologist private. I ended up having 3 cardiologists working on my case, and then I eventually got diagnosed with pericarditis, which is the inflammation of the heart. And then eventually I got diagnosed with POTS, which is a nervous system condition that affects the brain and the heart and the stomach. Thankfully, the pericarditis has improved and it's left no scarring, thanks to the medication that I've been on. The POTS is something that the doctors are saying it's for life, so I'm gonna have to be on medication for life. I believe in a cure. I don't know, through like herbal stuff, and maybe I'm a hippie, but that's what I believe. I also had some very scary arrhythmias happening during that time last year, and thankfully it was caught, and it's being looked at still to this day. I will be having my 5th Holter, so heart monitor, in like 2 years, which is a lot. Like, I have had quite a lot of happening. Thankfully, my other heart checks are good. Yeah, it's just that the POTS, the arrhythmias, is something that we're gonna have to keep an eye on. Yeah, I'm still going through it. I have about 1 or 2 hospital or doctor's appointments a week. I've had one 2 days ago. I had a fluoroscopy, so something like an x-ray of my throat and I think of my stomach. I'm having a lot of issues with my throat and my stomach, plus like still so many other issues. So I'm still under investigation. I'm being investigated. But that doesn't mean I haven't improved. I have improved massively. Like last year I couldn't go to a concert, I couldn't go to a burlesque, I couldn't go to a wedding, and I couldn't go to a weekend away, and I've been able to do all these things recently. So I'm just really happy that I have made such an improvement. Well, actually 3 weeks ago now, I had quite a hefty relapse in my health. I was out, and this was like 4 or 5 o'clock. I was at the train station. Annoying thing is it's always somewhere public. It has to be, you know, like it's really embarrassing. Well, it's really embarrassing, right? I'd rather it to happen at home than somewhere public. So I had my first seizure about 3 weeks ago, and my first paralysis attack, both I would say in the last 9 months. I was like clear for 9 months, and then I had my seizure. Actually I was paralyzed before, but it wasn't as strong. I think it was for a good 16 hours. I couldn't move my hands in particular, and my feet. Yeah, I was hit all over, so I was really stiff and I couldn't move. I decided not to go to the hospital because at the train station first aid they wanted me to go to send off to the hospital. Actually, I really should have gone to the hospital because they could have investigated, done a scan on me, because then soon after I had this massive headache that I've had when I had my first seizure and when I had my first paralysis attack. That came back very strong, and it affected my speech, and so I had slurred speech and everything. I still have like a lot of pain on this side. I don't know what this pain is. It's really hard to describe. I think the only way I know how to describe it is that a vein, right, is one of the vessels is probably like blocked. So I'm being re-investigated about my neurological symptoms, so I'm having a second opinion about what's happened, because so much is happening. A lot of my symptoms correlate with the ones of MS, and I didn't know this until literally about 10 people were at me about, you should get re-investigated for MS. And so yeah, I'm not saying that I have it, I'm saying that I should be investigated further, a little bit better. The reason why I don't want to just post about my illnesses and stuff, about how I'm feeling, is because I just don't want my friends to see. Yeah, I just, like, it's not nice for someone like my friends to see how unwell I am at times. Actually, a lot of the times when I don't post is when I'm not feeling very well. So the times that you see me like posting like happy and stuff is because I don't want to portray myself as someone who's sick, as someone who's, you know, who has this depressing health life. I don't want to make my illness my life. And I feel like if I do talk about my health constantly, I will be in a victim mindset. I don't want to have any pity. I really don't. I just honestly, I want to just put up with it and then just carry on. Like, even when I have these attacks happening, I'm like, oh, like, here we go again, and I just have to put up with it, and then just, you know, like, obviously endure it, and then just focus on healing, because it's not nice. It's not nice for anyone to see, and it's just not an environment that I want to create. I want to have my posts, my, you know, my stories to be just about the good times, to be honest. I know it's not real. I know it's not like whatever, but like I have experienced, honestly, I have had a near-death experience last year, and so many other horrible situations where like when me and my dad, we went to Hobbycraft, you know, I don't know, something happened by the tills, and the ambulance came and they had to put me on a board, and I don't know, I had to be like, it's just horrible. I don't want to talk about it. Not it's not something that I want to put out. And I also feel like if I constantly talk about it, then that's the energy I'm putting back into myself. And I don't know if it's something that's like being manifested that way, and I just don't want it. I want to portray myself as healthy because I want to believe that I'm healthy regardless of everything else that's happening to me, you know, because I feel like if I think of myself as a healthy person, as someone who doesn't have these conditions, then I genuinely feel this is the only way for me to get through it mentally. I just don't feel like I can cope with my health otherwise. If I constantly talk about it, I will be depressed. And what happened in Hobbycraft, my dad, that was the first time my dad had seen me having a seizure, like himself, and he can't get the picture out of his head every time he goes to buy like some art supplies, because my dad's an artist. He's a very good artist. But I really feel for him. I really do. And I feel for everyone who has seen me going through stuff, like my sisters, my family, you know, my friends, and my, like, the nurses. Yeah, I feel for them so much, like so much. So it's just so much easier for me to just put up with these attacks that's happening in my body and just get through it and not mention it and not talk about it, because yeah, you know, that's the only way for me to get through. And yeah, it may mean that I may not be able to use my brain for a good 2 weeks, but it's at least not as bad for my mental health. But you know, if you do want to know, if you want to ask questions about my health, how I'm doing, I really appreciate it. You know, I just don't want to talk about it constantly. But I do appreciate the message. Hey, how are you keeping up? I do have to say, you know, and this goes for a lot of people, you know, even those who have mental health, just because somebody's portraying themselves as a happy person, as feeling well, you know, they put makeup on, their hair looks good, outfit's good, and, you know, they might be having a really bad day, like health day or whatever day, right? Comments like, oh, you look like you're doing much better, or you look really well. I get quite awkward with that, because I'm like, yeah, I'm not, but thank you. I don't know how else to say it, but I guess just if you're genuinely interested, ask, how are you keeping up? How are you doing? That's it. It's so easy. But if you're a little bit awkward with saying stuff, maybe just say, it's good to see you. Like, instead of saying, it's good to see you doing well, and it's good to see you looking better, or like feeling better, because that's not how we may feel on the inside. You can say, it's good to see you, or it's good to see you out. If you don't want to ask how they're doing, if you just don't want to make it awkward, and if you just want to say something nice, because otherwise it can get a little bit uncomfortable. But yes, I am genuinely very grateful for each and every one of you. You know, I've been able to have these private hospital appointments. I was able to have hope. I'm able to like so much because of you guys, really. And like, I just can't express it how grateful I am. And yeah, I'm still getting there. Yeah. And I'm very, very, very grateful for my friends. I legit have the bestest friends I could have asked for. Like yeah. You have literally endured all these phone calls of me like screaming, crying on the phone, being really fearful and like frightful of like my life and stuff, like the worst. And yeah, I'm really, really grateful. And my family, like I was always close with my family, but I would say I'm more closer with my family now than I have ever been. And this also goes from like a bit further away with my family, like my aunties and you know, family like that. Yeah, if you're still here and you've listened to me throughout this whole thing, then thank you for watching, and subscribe because I will be making more videos. I have a few ideas. I believe the next one will be also quite interesting, actually. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.